Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and absolutely, and let me just see if I can adjust the camera. That's better. That was simple enough. Doesn't normally go that well. Right, we are looking at a puzzle by Ard van de Wetering today, the Dutch puzzle master who has been contributing to our channel since, well, I mean, very much the first massively viral video, involved a magic square and diagonal. Ard's just brilliant, and the puzzles he's contributed have been viewed so many millions of times. It's extraordinary. So we go again with 3D illusions this time. We're assured that the puzzle is in 2 dimensions. It just looks like it's not. But we've seen kind of Necker cubes and cuboids on the channel before, but not so many in a puzzle. So looking forward to giving this a go. I will tell you the rules, which are very simple, quite soon. But first, I do want to tell you about various things that we have, like merchandise on the channel. You can check either the store tab under the video or in the links that you can go to Teespring, our supplier, and find all the stuff like the Secret of Sudoku Squared, that's the latest item, or I'm one of Simon's favourite people, a proud boast. I'm probably not one of Simon's favourite people. I certainly don't have the t-shirt to prove it. But anyway, that is available on the links under the video. SVEN'S Sudoku Pad, you can go there and download the product to support Sven, who has created such a fantastic piece of software that we use all the time. What else have we got? We've got, of course, all of our apps, which do feature line Sudoku, including these Dutch Whispers and many other varieties of line. And our latest is Fog of War Sudoku. That's good fun as well. And on Patreon at the moment, we have the rather wonderful, if I dare say so, the rather wonderful April Foolery. That is our April monthly reward. Every puzzle has a bogus clue in it that you have to determine and then use at the very end in a final puzzle. So do check them out. It's great fun. And the comments have been, well, unanimously kind, I can say, which is, well, almost unanimously kind. I mean, even any with suggestions have been very constructive and said the rest of the hunt's great. Anyway, there we go. Check it all out. It's going well. And there's loads of stuff on Patreon. There's connections videos and crosswords too. All sorts going on. So do have a look into that now. Let's do the very simple rules of 3D illusions by Ard van de Wetering, which are normal Sudoku rules apply. Now, as usual, that means 1 to 9 will go in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. That is perfectly normal. Oh my goodness, just suddenly realized that I very recently kicked the socket out of the computer, and sometimes the microphone doesn't restart, but it is working. You can hear me. Sorry, 1 to 9 in every row, column, and 3x3 box. Normal Sudoku rules. And then neighbouring digits on a line must have a difference of at least 4. So any 2 cells joined by an orange line have a difference of at least 4. This is the Dutch Whispers rule, which basically arises because I think Ard first used it in a puzzle, and we changed therefore from German Whispers to Dutch Whispers for that one. And he's using them again in a brilliant fashion. So what the cuboids look like doesn't really matter here, but the fact that they are drawn with lines does. Now, I was very slow. You will be baffled because you are good at topography and maths drawings and geometric understanding. When I was drawing these first 2 shapes in the grid in boxes 1 and 3, I had to use 3 lines. Now, you will look at these and go, because there are, and by using 3 lines, what I'm doing is basically drawing in the software, but I had to start again, or I had to start lines 3 times, and that's just because I was being inefficient. You will realize that because there are 4 nodes that have odd numbers of lines coming out of them, you only need 2 lines to join up 2 such nodes. And I finally worked that out by the time I got to shapes 3, 4, and 5. So I was being very slow today. Hopefully that won't carry into my solve of the puzzle. And that's enough waffling about line drawing let's get cracking. Okay, so 7. 9 is very unrestrained on these lines. Actually, 7 is quite restrained. It can only touch 1, 2, and 3 because they're the only digits that are 4 away or more. And that 7 is touching 3 digits on lines, so that is a set of 1, 2, 3. Now, what I was pausing about is, do we go into the lectures about 5s on these lines or not? I don't know. But if you're interested in what I'm probably going to say later, and you don't know it already, think about 5s on these lines and what they do to polarity, to the line sequencing of high-low. Anyway, I will probably get to that. Let's just first of all think about this digit, which must see 2 digits out of 1, 2, and 3. And the same is actually true for this one, which sees 2 digits out of 1, 2, and 3. So it must see at least 1 and 2, and therefore it must be at least a 6 to have this difference of 4. Now this cell is in between these two, and therefore it sees 2 digits out of 6, 8, 9, but we've used 1, 2, and 3 in this box. So I think that has to be a 4 touching an 8 and a 9. And that's going to leave 5 and 6 as the remaining digits not on the cube in this box. And now I'm wondering, is it going to be true for every corner of this puzzle? Is it going to be true for every corner box that 5 and 6 are going to be the cells off these cuboids? I sort of think it is, but I don't know. And actually, if it was, how would you ever disambiguate those 4 pairs of 5s and 6s? This is a quite weird conundrum. And it's probably not what I have to do to solve the puzzle, but I'm now intrigued when I'm thinking about it. So the reason I'm thinking that is because we found over here 1, 2, and 3 had to... Okay, we'll do what I was going to do a moment ago and gave you a hint about. Let's do that. Can 5 appear on the cubes? And it's a very interesting question. In theory, 5 only has 2 possible neighbours. They are 1 and 9. So you could put a 5 in this cell with a 1 and a 9 there. But when you think about what happens here to connect that 1 and 9 again, what you'll realise is that within a repeating sequence of digits within a box, actually, I'm going to draw a line here. Let's just draw a line. Let's be really very specific about this because I think it's educational. I'm going to draw a blue line around the outside of this shape. That blue line is 6 cells long and it is circular, not in the strictly descriptional sense, but in the fact that it goes round and comes back to its beginning. Now, we could alternate digits high, low, high, low, high, low, high. Can we insert a 5? What a 5 does is it changes that alternation pattern. You were going low, high, low, then you have a 5, then you go high, and now you're alternating, but at a syncopated interval, like you're off the pattern you were before. And within one box where you can't put in another 5, you can't get back. So I think that means none of these cells on the blue line can possibly contain a 5 because that would mess up the sequence. And similarly, therefore, we could colour these, I don't know whether they're low or high, but they're the same. I don't know whether those pink ones are low or high, but they're the same. And then we can colour this middle cell pink as well. And that can't be 5 either because it's joining 2 greens, not a 1 and a 9, one from each colour. So every box, we are going to get this sort of 4 and 3 pattern. 5 is never going to be on these cubes for that reason because they've all got substantially the same shape. They're just pointing different ways. But I have a feeling, yeah, I can't keep 6 off them. Yes, sorry. What I was thinking was they were all going to contain 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. And they are, but there is another digit. And over here it was a 4. And in at least one of these cases, to avoid uniqueness, it's going to be a 6. Now, I know that because I know the puzzle will only have one solution because art is very, very reliable. I don't know how it's actually going to work. So I'm just going to get rid of that line again because that was just demonstrational. Now, the 4 or 6 that does appear. Yeah, and these greens, for instance, in this shape, cannot be 4 or 6 because they each have 3 neighbours. Normally, when we're doing German whispers, we talk about monogamous digits, which can only have one possible neighbour. Here in Dutch whispers, we've got some bigamous digits, which can only have 2 neighbours. We've already mentioned 5. But let's mention 4 and 6. 4's only possible neighbours are 8 and 9, and 6's are 1 and 2. So these green digits cannot be bigamous. Therefore, the green bigamous digit, which is 4 or 6, must be in one of these 2 cells. And now we can say that these non-cube cells in all of these corner boxes are from 4, 5, 6. And in fact, 4 is looking at that digit, so that's not 4. We've got a 5, 6 pair. I don't know if that's interesting. Let's just think a bit more about this. I probably can't do all that much more. I could make the patterns. Oh no, down here, of course, I've got 8 and 9, so I know about high and low. Oh, sorry, that would have been a more sensible place to start. But let's do blue for low, orange for high, and we just alternate as we go round the line or through the middle. Okay, so we do know about low and high down here, and that gives me a 1, 2, 3, 4 set in row 8. One of those digits has to be a 4, and these, because they have 3 outputs. Oh no, hang on, I've coloured this box wrong. Okay, sorry, well spotted, you're right. That is not a blue cell, that is an orange cell. So I don't have that ability. I can't make that 1, 2, 3, 4 quad. It was nonsense. However, it is always one digit. On these 2 boxes, no, they're different, aren't they? 8 is on one of the cells where you can have a bigamous digit on this shape. But on this shape, 9 is not on one of the cells where you can have a bigamous digit. They're here and here. However, it's low. So the bigamous digit here is a 4 in one of those cells. And the other ones are 1, 2, or 3. That is now not a 4. That is a 5, 6 pair over here. On this thing, however, the high digits form 4 cells. The 6, this is the bigamous digit, and it is high. So that's a 6. That's a 7, 9 pair. The 6 has to be connected to 1 and 2. They are its bigamous partners. This has to be a 3 because it is connecting to a 7. Now, does that inform anything over here? Oh, the 9 is looking at that cell, so that's a 7. That's a 9. Now, can we determine the colours of this corner box? Sorry, I should go back to... Did I ever colour these? No, I didn't. I should have done. There we go. Now, if pink here was blue, we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4 as a quad in row 2. But if pink is orange, we'd have 6, 7, 8, 9 as a quad in column 8. I don't know which applies. Oh, I do know this is a 5, 4 pair. If pink is high, then 7 goes here. Because all of those cells see a 7. If green is high, then 7 goes here. So 7 is in one of those 2 cells. If it's there, this would have to be a 1, 2, 3 set with 3 there and 1 and 2 here. Oh, and that would be 4. I haven't noticed. I don't think I've done anything wrong through not noticing, but I thought each of these shapes only had 2 possible bigamous locations. Oh yeah, no, I did go wrong here, didn't I? Oh, bother. Right, sorry. We'll rewind to where I was filling in box 9. I said, I mean, I was right to colour it like that, except actually that's where I went wrong, so we'll fix that. But then I also said that there was only 1 bigamous location, and I wrote the 6 in there, but that is a bigamous location too. So 6 goes in one of those 2 places, and I don't know which one. That must be one of its partners, because it touches both of them, so that's 1 or 2. But I definitely overstepped my authority. However, this sees 8 and 9. That is definitely a 7. I'm so sorry. It is a poor solve. So the trouble I was having when I was doing the line drawing has unfortunately gone on to manifest itself during the Sudoku solve. That's embarrassing. So these are from 1, 2, 3. 7 must touch 1, 2, and 3. Now, this is low. It touches 3 digits. I was going to say it can't be 3, but it can. I'm just not used to Dutch whispers. Oh, I've really hashed this up. But anyway, we're going okay now. I'm only 11 minutes in. I haven't wasted too much of your time. And I don't think I did anything wrong in the other boxes, but you know, shout if I did. Those are orange, right. That's blue. Might as well colour that. Never done that before. Okay, now I have to try and get some idea of the colour pattern here. 3 candidates for the bigamous digit, which is a 4 or a 6. I don't know how I'm meant to move on. I've just got to think this through now. These ones, 6 is the high bigamous digit, so that's not a 4. That is a 5, 6 pair. These are 8 and 7 because they see 3 each. Yes, that's right. Okay. Now, that one does see 3, so that's 1, 2, or 3. That is a triple in the column. Aha! So this is a 4. And I was just checking my logic again on box 1. That was all right because we were given the 7. Oh, goodness. It's been a bit of a struggle. Right. That's the 4. That must be touching 8. And that's a 7. Okay, that box works now. That 9 is actually looking up here. That's very clear. Now, finally, it wasn't clear. Now, none of these digits can be 7. So 7 is either there or there in the box. If that's a 7, this is 1, 2, 3. That's a 4. And that's impossible because neither of these can be 8. If that was a 4, that's lovely. If this was a 7, that would have to be 1, 2, 3 all touching the 7. This would be 4, and one of these would have to be 8 because there'd be an 8, 9 pair, but neither of them can be 8. So that is not a 7. Now we know the colours here. Pink is going to become orange and high because we're placing the 7 there. Green is going to become blue and low. And these two are going to include a 4 in, just as these two actually do. And 6 is in one of those two potentially bigamous cells. And these are a 1, 2, 3 triple because they all have 3 neighbours. Okay, these 2 digits cannot be a 2 based on the given 2. Now, there might be a bit more Sudoku that I'm just not spotting. I am looking for it, but I can't see it. Yeah, okay, there's no 3 there, so there is a 3 in this row in one of those 2 cells. We've actually got a triple here of 4, 5, 6. I haven't really seen that. And down here of 5, 6, 8. Not along there. Down here? Yes. No. No. 4 and 5 are in that group, but another low digit that I don't know. Anyway, 3 is in one of those cells in the row, so it's not in this one. I'm going to have to approach this middle cube soon. I've been a bit scared about it, to be honest. 9's not in that cell, so it's in one of those 2. Now, what about 5s? Okay, there's a 5 in one of those 2 cells. Because we know that these 2 boxes both have 5s. I can't highlight the right cells. Those 2 boxes both have 5s in, one in row 1 and one in row 3. There's no 5 there. There's also no 5 here because we've got a 5, 6 pair looking at them. Therefore, there's no 5 here or here. Now, I think we can therefore colour this cube. We could only have a maximum of 1 5 in this central box. And I very much doubt that we are going to have 5 on a line because it would disturb the sequencing. And I think, and I'm just going to be a bit careful about colouring this, I think the sequencing is such that we're going high-low throughout, certainly all the way around. It just looks so regular, yeah. And therefore 5 cannot come in and spoil the party anywhere, because it would mess up this pattern of high-lows. Well, now, have to be a little careful. We are moving between boxes here. And the one thing 5 can do is sit between 2 1s if the shape is right. But as we've ruled out 5 in those cells, that would only apply to a cell in the central box that had a diagonal cell leading out of it. And that can't be a 5 because those 2 would have to be the same digit. Those 2 being the same digit is fine. That is quite possible. But those 2 being the same digit is not. So 5 is off the cube in the middle. These light blues and violets we are going to render as either orange or blue when I have worked out what they are. And we can just write that in from this column, can't we? Because we've got 9 and 8 are high digits. 6 is another high digit in one of those. So only one of these 3 is high, and therefore violet is high and becomes orange. And the light blue is low and becomes authentically blue. Right. So there's the colouring. The cells, you see, this is not a trigamous cell, a polygamous cell anymore, because it could only have 2 different neighbours. So I think every cell on this cube, maybe apart from that one, this is the only cell on this cube that has to have 3 different neighbours that all have to be different. So this one is 1 or 3. If it's 3, these digits are 7, 8 and 9. And then that one would be 6, and that would be surrounded by a 1, 2 pair. Which of row 3 or column 3 do I have more certainty about? Maybe column 3, because I have the 5, 6 pair. So these are from 1, 2, 3, but this is a 7 in the middle. Okay, that's interesting. So 7 in the central cube is in one of those cells. These are from 6, 8, 9. I daren't write 5 and 4 into those because I think either of these cells could actually harbour a 4 secretly. Now, that is... Oh, this is interesting. In this row... Oh, yeah, look, we get 4 oranges. The 5 orange pips. That can't be the 5th orange pip. So that must be a 5. So that's a 6, and that's going to sort out all our pairs in the corner boxes. because the 5s all get placed there, and then the other bigamous digit can be written in. Okay, so that's 1, 2, or 3. That's good. That's helpful. This is a 6-9 pair. Might as well colour them, because that tells me about a 6-8-9 triple, which is surprising. And it does tell me that that can't be 6 or 8, so that's a definite 5 as well. 5 gets no colour. It's wan, it's effete, it gets no colour at all. It's anemic. Right. Everything else in the middle row with the 4 oranges and a 5 is now blue. Might as well do all the colouring. There's a 5 in one of those. Oh, that 5 is determined where 5 is in the central box. So I can colour the last digit in the central box. Now I can place 5 in box 6. That I can colour as blue. I've got all 4 blues in row 6, so those go orange. That's a blue. I'm just counting the boxes now. That's an orange. Okay, good. Now, 5's in one of those cells. I may not be able to colour these boxes yet, so we'll get back to those. That's a 9. It's the remaining high digit in the box or in the column or whatever. These are from 6, 7 and 8 now. Does one of them have to be 6 and thus rule out 3 from here? No. Because that could be the 6 in the row. This is a 7-8 pair in this box, and that's not 8. Now, that means 9's in one of these 2 cells. Is that interesting? Not really, no. That can't be 2 by Sudoku. 4 is in one of these digits. That's not very helpful. I've still got to really work on this cube in the middle, haven't I? The trouble is, as I said, every cell on this cube, apart from that one, could be a bigamous digit. So it's very hard to decide where a bigamous digit actually lives. Okay, these are blue and not 2. Oh, that digit is a 4 in its row. So that's 1, 2, or 3. Now, is that 4 any use anywhere else? No. Neither use nor ornament. That can't be a 2, and that can't be a 2. We've got a 1, 3 pair here. So that's 2 or 4, and so is this. Again, I'm not making progress. Oh, 6 there is now looking at that. That's a 9. Ah, let's see if that's going to give us stuff. That's a 6. That's 8. That's 9. So that's all the high digits in the corner box is done. Now, this 6 cannot touch a 3. So it's touching 1 there. And that does fill in all the low digits in columns 7, 8, 9. They're all complete now. That's amazing how quickly that suddenly happens. Is it going to feed over to the left side? Yes, a bit. That 2 can't be in those cells, so this is a 2. That is now not a 2, and therefore this is not 1 or 3. Now we've got a 2, 4 pair there, and that is going to do it all, isn't it? 3, 1, 2. That's a 3, that's a 1. Oh, maybe not this box. Okay, but we made progress, and we're going to use it. I've got a 1, 2, 7 triple there. 3, 8, 9 here, 3, 4, 9 in the top row, 1, 5, 8 there. So 8 comes out of these cells. In fact, this is known. That's a 2 now, which can very happily touch 6 and or 7. This digit is not allowed to be 6 because one side or the other will be a 3. So the 6 in this row is there. That's an 8. That gives us 7 and 8 down here. Now I know this is a 7 and this isn't. This is instead 6 or 9. Well, that was a nice move, but it didn't finish off anything. This can't be a 4 because of that connection. 4 can't connect to either 6 or 7. So although this is in a position where it could have been bigamous, it's not 4. Now I've got a 1-3 pair in the box, so that's 2 or 4. Now if that was 4, it again can't touch this cell. There we go. This cell is a very crucial vertex of its Necker cube. Right. That's done quite a lot of stuff. So this has to be a 7 in this column now because it's seeing a 1-3 pair and the 2. And that fixes this row. These now can't be 1s, and in fact that can't even be 5. So they're all done. What else? I can do the 5 down here, but not the 4-6 pair. 3, 8, 9, that can't be 8, this can't be 3. I wonder if I'm still going to have to do a bit of Dutch whispering in the centre still. That can't be 4. This seems to be the only place for 8. I just need to write 8 in the central box, and I understand how that's come about. Then I can finish off 8, 9, 3 here. Still not quite done. Maybe this can't be 6 because on one side or other it would touch a 3. There we go. That'll finish us off. Yes, that'll get everything done. But before I do finish off, I'm quite keen to get the colouring up to date. So I've just got a 1-3 deadly pattern left, which is a little alarming because I wasn't expecting any more deadly patterns or problems or reasons to have to investigate the cubes, but I've got one. So let's just do the colouring first of all. There we go. Now, one of these is going to be fixed by the Dutch whisper rule, and there it is, 6 touching that cell. Such a relief, because if that had been a 7 or something, there just would have been no way of disambiguating this, and I'd have had to realise that I'd made a mistake, probably very early, and backtrack. So although I did make a bit of a mistake early on, both an elementary one with colouring and a more complicated one with not spotting all the places that bigamous digits, as I have christened them in this video, could go, I think I corrected those. So apologies if you already wrote your comment saying Mark's got that wrong. Please acknowledge that at least I did find out I'd got it wrong and I went back and fixed it. And these things do happen in live solves, and I don't feel that much shame about them. You know, it's maybe a case of that famous phrase, sorry, not sorry. But a very clever puzzle by Ard there. I mean, just absolutely classic from, that's why he is the Dutch Meister of puzzles, because he produces something. Ard is never afraid to sprinkle a few given digits in to make the puzzle enjoyable and solvable. And that's what always eventuates. So thank you very much, Ard. Great fun as usual. Thank you for watching. It's always a pleasure to have you with us, and hope to see more of you on Cracking the Cryptic. Bye for now.